भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं तं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुनविषादयोगः। धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवा च एव किम् अकुर्वत Sanjay. Dhritarashtra said, "Assembled on the field of Dharma, O Sanjaya, on the field of the Kurus, eager to fight, what did my people and the Pandavas do?" Again, I repeat, assembled on the field of Dharma, O Sanjaya, on the field of the Kurus, eager to fight, what did my people and the Pandavas do? This is the only time that Dhritarashtra speaks in the text of the Bhagavad Gita. He only appears in order to ask this question. The Kurus are the members of the Kuru family, a leading clan of the time. The field of the Kurus is a vast plain near Hastinapur in the neighborhood of Delhi. It is belonged to the Kurus at that time, and the battlefield is called Kurukshetra. Dhritarashtra is an old experienced head of the royal family, which is called the Kuru family. He knows that the battlefield of Kurukshetra, lying within the Dharmakshetra, the land between the rivers Yamuna and Saraswati, always maintains its sanctity and brings victory to the righteous. He is anxious to hear the details of the happenings and curious to find out whether the good influence of the land has had any effect on the destructive tendencies of his evil-minded sons, or whether it stimulated the righteousness of the Pandavas and encouraged them to forgive the evildoers. This is his wishful thinking. The two armies of the Kauravas and Pandavas on the battlefield of Kurukshetra represent the negative and positive forces on the field of Dharma. This is what made Dhritarashtra say, assembled on the field of Dharma, on the field of the Kurus. Dhritarashtra, the blind king of the Kuru family, says, "My people and the Pandavas." Because he was blind, his younger brother Pandu was managing the affairs of the kingdom for him. When Pandu died, Dhritarashtra wanted to give the reins of the kingdom to Yudhishthira, the eldest of the 5 sons of the Pandu, who was also called Dharmaraj, the embodiment of righteousness. The very embodiment of righteousness and noble qualities. This is what Dharmaraj was. But Duryodhana, the eldest of the 100 evil-minded sons of Dhritarashtra, by trick and treachery secured the throne for himself and began attempting to destroy Yudhishthira and his 4 brothers. Sanjaya is the charioteer of the blind king Dhritarashtra. The word, however, means one who has conquered the senses and the mind. So Sanjaya also means one who has conquered the senses and the mind. Sanjaya was asked to narrate the details of the battle because he was clairvoyant and clairaudient and at the same time impartial. The whole of the Bhagavad Gita is Sanjaya's answer to Dhritarashtra's question. Now, Lord Krishna is the head of the Yadava clan and he tried to bring about a reconciliation between the cousins. But when all his attempts failed and the treachery of Duryodhana continued and increased, war between the Kauravas and Pandavas became inevitable. It brought kings and warriors from all over the globe to take sides according to the level of their consciousness. As per their consciousness, they took the sides of the righteous Pandavas or the evil-minded Kauravas. The good and the evil of the whole world formed the 2 armies. Lord Krishna's main mission, which was to destroy evil and give protection to righteousness, has been simplified. Why has it been simplified? Because they all came in one place, they all gathered together in one place, the evil on one side and the noble on the other side. So for Lord Krishna, destroying this evil and give protection to righteousness has been simplified. Now let us see what is this Dharma. Dharma is that invincible power of nature which upholds existence. It maintains evolution and forms the very basis of cosmic life. It supports all that is helpful for evolution and discourages all that is opposed to it. Dharma is that which promotes worldly prosperity and spiritual freedom. In order to understand the role of Dharma in life, we have to consider the mechanics of evolution. Now let's look at the mechanics of evolution. When life evolves from one state to another, the first state is dissolved and the second brought into existence. In other words, the process of evolution is carried out under the influence of 2 opposing forces, one to destroy the first state and the other to give rise to the second state. So these creative and destructive forces working in harmony with one another maintain life and spin the wheels of evolution. So Dharma maintains equilibrium between these opposing cosmic forces. Dharma safeguards existence and upholds the path of evolution, the path of righteousness. Now let us look at how Dharma upholds the man's life. Man's life is so highly evolved that he enjoys freedom of action in nature. This enables him to live in any way he desires, either for good or for evil. As he behaves, so he receives. When the good increases in life and the positive forces tend to overbalance the normal state of existence, then the process of dharma, restoring equilibrium, results in feeling of happiness in the heart and satisfaction in the mind. In the same way, when evil increases in life and the negative forces predominate, then this power of dharma produces sensations of pain and suffering, because this balance is disturbed. Life is as we want it. Again, I repeat, life is as we want it, either suffering or joy. When we allow the positive and negative forces to remain in their normal state of equilibrium, we live through normal periods of life. But when we allow and assist the growth of negative forces, then the suffering results. When we help the positive forces to increase, we share the joy of life. As you sow, so shall you reap, expresses the role of dharma in practical life. Now let us look at the cause of calamities and crises in a community and why they are happening. Calamities, crises, and catastrophes in a community or country are caused by the increase of negative forces resulting from the evil deeds of majority of their people. A high degree of concentration of negative forces without positive forces to balance them ends in suffering and destruction of life. The life of an individual under the influence of increasing positive forces enters into a field of increasing happiness and is eventually transformed into bliss consciousness. In this state of bliss consciousness, life gains the status of cosmic existence, the eternal life. In this way, we find that the increase of negative forces ends in passivity or extinction of life, whereas the increase of positive forces results in life eternal. Our individual life moves backwards and forwards automatically as we direct it under the influence of dharma. Positive and negative forces, as we develop them, play their role on the field of dharma and shape the destiny of life. Thus ends the essence of the first verse. So it reminds us that we need to live with dharma. We need to live in accord with the laws of nature in order to gain happiness and also to gain enlightenment. It is the increasing happiness which is eventually transformed into bliss consciousness and raises one to cosmic existence, the eternal life. So to gain the higher states of consciousness, one has to align one's life to dharma. I will share a few Sanskrit quotes on dharma. Dharmo Visvasya Jagata Pratishtha. This means the whole world is established and dependent on this dharma. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. It means even if you follow a little of this dharma and live in accordance with this dharma, one can live a fearless life. It will remove so much fear from the life of an individual. Dharmameva jayate. It is only dharma which will gain the victory. Yato dharmaha tato krishnaha. Yato krishna tato jayaha. Wherever there is dharma, Lord Krishna resides there. Wherever Lord Krishna is, there will be victory always. Jai Gurudev, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गीतामाहात्म्यम्